Gentlemen, how are you presenting yourself to people? Are you nice and submissive? Are you calm yet commanding? Or are you bold and intimidating? I hear men talk about the nice guy often and why it's a problem. I'm going to talk about the other end of the spectrum, the intimidating guy. This is a problem I personally struggle with. I was bullied in middle school, and in high school, I got into several confrontations. As a result of this, I subconsciously made myself project body language of someone you don't want to F with. I scowled my face, I walked stiff, and spoke with authority. It's made it extremely difficult to connect with people or make new friends. My interactions with women were dreadful. Women were always scared of me. At first, I thought it was because they liked me and were afraid to admit it. However, after some introspection and thinking about how my friends and people describe me, I realized I may be unapproachable. It's not enough to be attractive. You also have to display behavior of someone that doesn't a behavior that doesn't appear like your Nosferatu in disguise. Now, I'm not suggesting purposely trying to make a person comfortable. This behavior comes off as manipulative and try hard. I'm suggesting you allow yourself to be vulnerable. There's a difference. Vulnerability is a relaxed, expressive, and approachable. It's important to be disagreeable and assertive, but it doesn't need to be on display. If you feel distrusting and insecure, I'm going to give you my 3 tips to feel safe and secure. Tip number 1, either have a martial arts routine or an exercise. I noticed that the reason why I personally wasn't secure in a lot of interactions is because I felt like I couldn't defend myself if I needed to. Taking a martial arts class, getting the discipline, going to class every day, getting that discipline, that training under your belt. And of course, sparring, it will give you the confidence that if you were to get into a physical altercation, it won't just be like you're getting beat up. You have the tools to potentially save your life or defend yourself. And I think that when I didn't have those tools, it just made me, more on edge, more, imposing and stuff like that. So like when I got those tools, it made me a bit more relaxed because I knew if I needed it, if I needed to defend myself, I had the ability to. If you can't do a martial arts class right now due to current events, have an exercise routine, get stronger. The point of the matter is, if you get into an altercation, it won't be easy for the attacker. That's what you're thinking of. It won't be easy for the attacker, so you can relax a little bit, knowing that you have that weapon in your back pocket. And one thing that martial arts taught me, and like this is what I think this is common among all martial arts, is you learn the stuff so you don't have to use it. Because you take the martial arts, you train hard, and you spar and stuff, and then you realize how dangerous you could be. And as a result, you choose not to be. It's being not able to hurt someone doesn't make you a good person. Being able to hurt someone and not hurting them makes you a good person. So take a martial arts class, lift weights, make yourself a bit more dangerous as far as your toolkits for defending yourself. But tip number 2 is communication and wit. Now, I'm going to go into videos in the future about communication, but what I want you to do is utilize communication and intelligence effectively. And this is a habit I'm still kind of struggling with, communicating my needs effectively, especially in interactions. Like, one thing I don't allow people to do is disrespect me. I just don't. And if they want to disrespect me, like calling me personal insults and stuff like that, I just walk away from the interaction. I don't take disrespect, and I communicate that without disrespect. Because I've worked on my communication, I can communicate my thoughts and feelings without being disrespectful, because I've given myself the tools to be an effective communicator when I need something. And you have to do that. It takes practice. Like I said, I'm still kind of in the middle of doing that. Sometimes I just want to walk away, but I know that using, I was blessed with a mind. I'm not saying like I'm the smartest person ever, but I was blessed with the ability to learn communication. So I feel that that's another tool in my toolbox to use if I feel that someone's using approaching my boundaries. I don't have to assume. I don't have to like be on edge whether or not a person will betray me. If something pops up, I address it, and if it's not corrected, I move on. That's just what it is. I address it and tell them how I would want them to behave, and then if I notice the same behavior, this wall up in other people, I address that too and encourage them to communicate with me. But work on your communication. It's so powerful, especially because you're going to have conflict throughout your life, like more so in your interpersonal relationships, maybe with a work colleague and stuff like that. And some people can't be reasoned with, but you don't have to assume they can't be reasoned with. You use the reason. And then if the reason doesn't work, you maybe resort to something else, maybe go to HR and stuff like that, but use your intellect and use your communication skills. Tip number 3 is mitigate stress. Have a routine that relieves stress. It can be exercise, meditation. It can be, I don't know, jerking off. No, I don't know. Whatever you want to do. Have routines to control your stress. Because if you're out in an interaction, you're stressed or you're anxious and stuff like that. That makes you just more on edge. It makes you more jumpy and all that stuff. Have a routine to mitigate your stress and control your stress. That way, when you're able to control your stress, you're able to use those 2 previous tools effectively. Because when your back's against the wall, you're gonna communicate, or you're gonna do verbal assaults, and you're gonna put that wall up. But if you're cool, calm, and collective, you can use the tools that you've built effectively. You can still rely on your thinking brain as opposed to jumping straight into the primal fight or flight type of thing. It's like I'm able to relax myself, and I'm able to make the wise decision as opposed to just punch a dude in the face at the bar, or just or scream at my girlfriend and cuss her out and call her out her name and stuff like that. It's just like maintaining calm in those interactions. And honestly, I really want you guys to meditate so you can be aware of your feelings and how. Because with meditation, you'll feel a variety of feelings. You'll feel happiness. You may have a memory and feel sadness. You may be anxious because you're in meditation, and it helps you recognize those feelings, and then it helps you better combat them and take cognitive control over yourself when you feel those feelings are arising. So those are my 3 tips: exercise routine or martial arts, use your communication and wit, and keep your stress levels down. This will make you more approachable. This will make you more friendly, more relaxed, more vulnerable. People will want to get you, and it gives you that kind of charismatic aura. So you can't be charismatic without being vulnerable. You have to be vulnerable to people to get influence. You just do. If you feel you're putting walls up, you're not letting people in and stuff like that, it just makes it very, very difficult to have that influence. So work on this, guys. There's always more to come. If you enjoyed the video and thought the content was helpful, slide that like button and give me a sub. It really helps the channel grow. There's definitely more to come.